is about to be a bomb-ass anime. Hello, hello. What's good, y'all? I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be playing Moonless Moon. I want to say a big thank you to the publishers for sending me a copy of this game early to play on stream. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to play this. It looks gorgeous. Like, I saw the visuals and then I saw that it had like all this really great original music and I was like, okay, we need to play this. This looks super cool. It's a text-based visual novel that is heavily influenced by music. So there's a lot of music. The way it's described is being like a music video that you play and you help the main character navigate these other worlds that she gets transported to by selecting words to guide the story. So it seems pretty cool. It's a little different from like the usual visual novels I've played, but I like it. I don't know. I like these games that give you all these weird feels. So I'm like really excited to play. Like I said, it has not come out yet. It will be out on the 8th. All right, let's do it. Let's start. Moonless Moon. Give me a Studio Ghibli vibe already. Out of the shadow of the railway bridge, into the sunset-tinged light she walks. It feels like stepping into a whole different world. The bustle of the people coming and going around the station hits her like a sharp gust of wind. The thick fog of loneliness surrounding her is blown away instantly. The light shines right into Yomichi's eyes. She squints and lets the flow of people carry her forward. The station is always crowded at this time of day. Lots of people, lots of reasons for being here. People riding on their train home. People who just arrived here. People who just stand there waiting for someone. This is really it's really cool the way that they like revealed the character. Like they reveal the environment first and it's kind of blurred out and then they pan out to show her. Really fun. Yomichi liked it that way. The endless stream of stimuli flooding her sight and hearing kept her brain too busy to think. When she's surrounded like that, she almost forgets who she is. That's a huge weight off her mind. But she liked being under the bridge or in small alleys just as well. One road away is all it takes. The crowd feels silenced. If you listen closely, you could still hear them, but it was only a muffled roar from a distant world. You could look at the wind, trying to rip off the tattered posters on the walls, and think about yourself in peace and solitude. The night has almost arrived at the station. The sun slowly goes off to be replaced by the city's lights. Yomichi strolled, waiting for the dark. Now, this station isn't close to either her home or her school. The chance of meeting anyone she knows are very, very low. The sun disappears between the buildings, leaving the sky black. Yomichi keeps walking. The things around her lose their shadows, and their silhouettes become blurry. Oh no! In comes the streetlights, helping those things cast shadows again. And then she loses track of where she is. Oh, we're somewhere else. Okay. Before she knows it, she's walking in a desert. Why'd you just close your eyes and being on the moon? That would be wild. And this music is really pretty. The moon's expanse of white sand and rocks spreads in all directions. The sky up above is lit by endless faint stars, but there's no moon to join them. Far away towards the horizon, a blur of light wavers like a mirage. You could think it was a reflection on a distant sea, but she knows it's a large moon city. She has never been there, and she couldn't even guess how many days it would take to walk all the way to it. A white desert and a black sky. Those are the only two colors she can see. She feels she could walk for hours with no addition to the palette. And yet, she keeps going, treading along as if on a familiar path. Intense. She realizes something. She's not the only one. Oh no, it's redacted. Through this silent world where redacted cannot flow. Okay. Oh, rocks, Moon City. Are those the only words? Okay. Click it. Here and there, the white sand is spotted by rocks of the same color. She tries to pick one up, but it immediately crumbles into dust. Did all of the sand used to be solid stone once? It certainly doesn't feel that way. This place feels too quiet for time to actually move forward. I think we're gonna take that word. Yes. We got a keyword. Yes. Okay. And then I'm gonna click on Moon City. Yumichi squints at the buildings, wondering if people live there, but the city is too far for the dark silhouettes of people to stain the light from the windows. Even if there are people walking, all the way to them would take her days. Okay, let's get another word. Walking. Yes. I guess that's it. Are there any other keywords? Oh, wait, there are more. Let's see. So we can click on stars. What else? That's it? Okay, I think that's it. She realized something. She's not the only one. I'm gonna put walking here. Walking through this silent world where I'm gonna put time here because that makes sense. Time cannot flow. We solved our first puzzle. Huzzah! She realizes something. She's not the only one walking through this silent world where time cannot flow. No. This music is really like soothing. I like it. I could like nap to this. Eventually, she hears footsteps other than her own. Who's on the moon? Ooh. Oh, Yomichi. A new outfit already? Is it a friend? We know this person. Turn around, and there she is. Just bought these yesterday. Aren't they cute? Well, they're unique. She utters lazily, with her hazy eyes pointed at the print on Yomichi's shirt. But Yomichi knows that she's more interested than she shows to be. Who's this? Oh, she's cute! You know, I've been wondering, you live in that city over there, right, Madobe? That I do. Isn't that far? I guess you could say it is. How do you come all the way here then? Walking. Madobe gazes at the mirage-like city she just said she lives in. Did you know? She asked with a sudden impertinent smile on her face. Cheeky. Know what? That skipping along makes you faster. Almost as fast as light. Okay, so skipping on the moon is like light speed? I didn't know that. Oh no! Come back. Yomichi tries skipping, but each step still only brings her one step forward. How do you skip badly? That's terrible. Oh, what's this? Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, I love this music. Oh, this is so nice. Oh my gosh. It is like a music video. I really like this. Okay, this is like watching an anime intro. I love it so much. Oh, this is so cool. It is a bop, right? This is about to be a bomb-ass anime. If I could sing in Japanese, I would. Yo, this is really epic. With the visuals, like, it just works. God, this is so awesome. Right! It feels like an anime intro. Ready for season 2, guys. Yeah, this is a jam. That was just the opening to the game. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the game could end right there and I'd be good. Watch Outline Seaside music video. We watched the music video and there's the lyrics, there's the artist. Yo. All right, let's do the next one. Okay. I love that so much. Once school is over, Yomichi chooses her shirt for the day, puts it on, and leaves the house. You can still see the sun in the sky. It looks so dark in that background. I love when games will describe, like, the sun was shining so brightly, but whatever background they use is like pitch dark. It's like there's no sun. Her destination is a park not far from her home. It's a small park in a residential area with little to boast other than a rusty slide and a dirty bench. A sad place she's never seen children play in. She sits on the slide's ladder and pulls out her phone. It's not worth it to risk the bench, considering how it's almost always wet. Yeah. Have you ever been to a park as an adult? It's so wild because, like, you have this feeling of nostalgia. Friends from her class are talking about next week's test in a group chat. They ask her if she remembers what was supposed to be in the test, to which she replies with a simple, nope. What little sky is left uncovered by the old houses around the park starts turning red. Eventually, night comes, the shadows inside the park merge with the darkness outside. Are we going somewhere else? As the wind seems to take away the last ray of the light still hitting the city. Yomichi finds herself standing inside a dark tunnel. That's creepy. I would not want to wake up in a dark tunnel. It's dark in front of her, dark behind her, just dark all around. Once her eyes get used to the darkness, she notices there is a very faint light seeping in through the top of the tunnel. It's a green light, not quite sunlight, not quite fluorescent lamplight. She stretches and starts walking through the tunnel she already knows so well. When night falls, she finds herself in a new world. She doesn't even remember when this all started, but she's pretty sure it didn't used to happen when she was a little girl. It probably was around the time she entered middle school. In any case, if she's alone at night, she'll suddenly get transported to some unusual place. Is it just her mind traveling? Is her body also coming along for the ride? She has no idea. At first, she thought they were just weird dreams. Then she started worrying she was going insane. But eventually, she got used to it. She can't predict where she'll be transported, or when, but she doesn't get surprised anymore when it happens. She has made friends throughout these travels, and now she can even walk through an eerily lit tunnel without a care. There are openings in the concrete walls. They're large enough for someone to walk through. Voices come out of them, shouts, whispers. After going past a few of these openings, she finally finds the one she's looking for, marked by an unassuming sign hanging on top of it. She crouches and walks inside. How big is the door? Ooh, okay. Good evening, she says. Oh, hello there. I wonder if these stories are connected. Oh, they're cute. Not us meeting a hottie. The apron-wearing young man behind the counter smiles at her. Can we romance the mysterious bartender? There aren't any other customers tonight. Shortly after she sits in front of the counter, the bartender serves her a cup of coffee. Along with the steaming cup, he hands her a shallow glass container. It kind of looks like an ashtray, but it isn't one. Yomichi is too young to smoke anyway. Good for you, sis. She slides the container to right below her face and looks into it. It's empty and polished to a mirror sheen. She grabs the cup and takes a sip. Yomichi never particularly liked coffee. She just got used to the aroma because her parents drank it every morning. But no matter how many times she tried it, she just couldn't enjoy the bitter taste. The coffee they served here, however, was the exception. The flavor was rich and complex, and you didn't need any sugar or milk to mask the bitterness. I would pour so much milk and sugar in that coffee, it would be not funny. One time she even asked the bartender if he did anything out of the ordinary to make it taste like that. When he replied, nothing special, she knew that it was a humble way to tell her that he put in a lot of effort in choosing the beans and extracting the coffee, while also implying that there was no secret ingredient. He's cute though. The coffee is as bitter and deep in flavor as usual. After one sip, she puts the cup back on the counter. As she enjoys the aftertaste, she notices that tears have started streaming down her cheeks. She wasn't sad, nor happy enough to justify tears. The coffee's flavor was comforting, yes, but that was no reason for crying. And yet, every time she tasted the coffee here, she felt so warm inside that she ended up crying. I would cry because it's coffee. She stares blankly in front of her, waiting for the tears to subside. After traversing her whole face, the tears drop down and into the glass container. That was the currency here in this world. Wait, tears? You pay with tears. The bartender gives you coffee and you pay him in tears. That's intense. She has seen other customers here before, and they all did the same thing. They'd fill the glass container with tears even when they were in the middle of a pleasant conversation. Once they were done, they'd give the container back to the bartender. That happened in all of the shops inside this tunnel world. There was no money, except for tears. What do you do with the tears? Okay, wait. What does the bartender do with the tears? I have so many questions. I can't remember the last time I bawled, but I did tear up watching Godzilla once, which was weird for me because it was Godzilla. I do get emotional sometimes when I'm watching a really intense story, but not to the point of bawling. It's crazy. She thinks that it's nothing about the coffee making her cry. It's just the way this world works. In her day world, you cry when you feel moved. Here, you cry when somebody gives you something. It's so wild. She feels that the bizarre rules of any world she visits also apply to her for as long as she stays there. The same was true of the moon world, where she met Madobe. She could breathe just fine despite having no air to breathe. I like this jazzy music though. Feels like I'm in a lounge. Moving from a world to the next changes a lot of things. But the thing is, you get used to pretty much anything eventually. At first, crying in front of people felt extremely embarrassing, but now she doesn't mind it much, because in this world, it isn't much. So smooth. She turns her teary eyes upward and sees the bartender cleaning a cup. Now, she never speaks of her world while she's in this shop, but the first time she found herself here, she had started talking about it. The bartender wasn't in the least bit surprised, but he also looked like he could care less. That's so funny. He treated every customer the same, regardless of who they were and where they came from. That was his policy. He came from a strange world? Who cares? Drink your coffee. That made her feel comfortable, which is why she often came back and started following that rule herself. Mind if I talk to you, Hoshi? Oh my gosh. Is his name really Hoshi? I love it. She has forgotten how she came to know this, but the bartender's name is Hoshi. Of course, nobody even bothers asking that, you know. Is it weird? Sorry. I'm not used to this kind of place. Oh, don't worry. I'm not used to it either. He turns towards her with a look of genuine confusion on his face. How long have you been doing this? Good question. About half a year. So just 6 months? Really? But the first time I came here was about half a year back. I probably just started then. So wait. Do these worlds come into being when she appears, or are they always there? Like parallel universes? That's surprising. There were a lot of people who looked like regulars at the time. They're just people who like looking like regulars. I even get first-time customers asking for the usual. Really? And what do you serve them then? I just guess. Okay, I love Hoshi. Just like, I just guess. It's fine. I was a barista once, and we would get a lot of regulars coming in. And like, I remember when I first started and I didn't know like the regular stuff. And I'm like, oh, you'll learn. Don't worry about it. They'll teach you, is what they would all say. And I did eventually learn their drinks. And now I can't forget them because they're ingrained in my brain for always and eternity. But it's so wild that people go to places like all the time and do get regular drinks and stuff. And they don't complain? Nope, I guess not. They don't. They have no idea what they want either. By the way, do you mind if I have something to drink too? Can you drink on the job? Sure, go ahead. Oshi crouches down and opens a cabinet below the counter. What were you doing before opening this place? Good question. What was I doing? Music, I think? I probably made a living out of music. Huh. Interesting. Are the people of this world people from the real world who just get trapped here or choose to stay? Or are they figments of our imagination? Because that's interesting. Like, Hoshi said that he was a musician. Like, was he a musician who happened to just like pass out on the street and then woke up in this mysterious world, or what? So you were a musician. You could say that. You just said that. That's so cool. It isn't really. I only lasted a year or so. Wow. It's so sad. Still cool. So you did something else before that? Before that, I drifted around for a couple of years. Listen, if I could. He stands back up and places a bottle of orange liquid on the table. It looks like liquor at first, but it's actually just orange juice. Wait. Why is this bartender just drinking orange juice? Most people around here do it. We work for a few years and then use that money to travel for a few years. Mostly, we're trying to get to the end of the tunnel. And when we're out of money, we find a new job nearby, rinse and repeat. So they're all just stuck in a tunnel. That's gotta suck. Yomichi looks at the reflection of her face in the bottle. I just opened up shop here because I found the place empty. The bottles and such were all here to begin with too. And they weren't expired? So it was already a coffee shop before you came by. Yes, everything here belonged to someone else. The glasses, this apron, everything. So surreal. Is there anything you brought here then? My clothes, I guess. I don't bring anything with me when I travel. Isn't that scary though? Oh, she stares at Yomichi. How so? I mean, you have no idea where you'll end up tomorrow. Indeed. Well, do you? Yikes. Not turning the question on me. That's a fair question. I don't. Just thinking about what Hoshi just said makes Yomichi feel uneasy in a way she can't quite put into words. The first thing she could come up with was talking about her dreams for the future. I guess I'll just find a job and keep working there forever. In the meantime, I'd get married and then get old. Normal stuff. Isn't that why everyone worries so much about the future? If everyone lived as freely as you do, there'd be no point in worrying at all. It's true. You have a point. I can't say I ever worry about it. All I can do is deal with the present. Hoshi pours the orange juice into a tall glass. The juice is cloudy, and the color is uneven. Ew, it's got pulp in it! I hate orange juice, but I hate pulpy orange juice even more. I hate pulpy juice. Period. Oh my gosh. I don't want to know it was ever a fruit. No, thank you. That doesn't mean it's not a good choice for you. Finding a single place to work and sticking to it could work. I'd get bored really fast though. You really are the carefree type. Does that make everything easier? Guess so. I'm sorry, pause. I do like the things. I just don't like orange juice. I really don't like orange juice. I cannot like orange juice. Never liked it, never wanted it. I hate pulp. I don't understand why there needs to be bits in my juice. Okay, listen, that's not correct. That's the wrong answer. Wrong. You both are wrong. Yomichi isn't so sure about that. She isn't even sure there's a correct answer to that question. While Hoshi's lifestyle sounds easy, she couldn't help but feel worried about having no clear path in her life. In her case, that sense of uneasiness would be stronger than the enjoyment she could get out of it. But maybe a few years from now, she'll see this with different eyes. Okay. A wandering... I don't know. I've always played with the idea of just selling everything and just wandering somewhere with the money I have. And I mean, with my library of manga, if I sold all that, I'd have a small fortune on my hands. But like, just living off of that and just wandering and going traveling and seeing what I could see and experiencing all these things. It sounds like a really cool thing to do, but then, like Yomichi says, there's the uncertainty of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. You don't know where you're gonna stay, you don't know what you're gonna eat. I don't know, it just kind of takes the shine off of it a little bit. Like, I know for some people that's the excitement of it, is like not knowing, but for me, I kind of need to have some semblance of a plan in order to do something like that. So I can kind of get it. This world's a little weird, but I think it's cool that that's just what everybody does. They settle down, do something until they make enough money to keep moving, and they're all moving towards the end of the tunnel. I wonder if the tunnel is like a metaphor for life. Like if they get to the end, they die. Actually, that's very morbid now that I think about it. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. At least all the people around these parts are like this. They just can't stay put in a place and grow roots. We just go with the flow, like water. It's nice not to have to think about where you'll end up next. Yomichi is starting to get convinced about the merits of that lifestyle. So you'll move out of here eventually? I sure will, when I get bored of it or when I have enough money to set aside, whichever comes first. Aw, it's kind of sad. Why? I'm sure this place will get a new bartender in no time once I'm gone. The look of genuine confusion on his face makes Yomichi realize that for the people of this world, this is... Say, what's at the end of the tunnel? What is at the end of the tunnel? No idea, but I've never seen anyone come back after getting to the end, so I'm sure there's something. How do you know they've gotten to the end? Which way is the end? To the right as you leave the shop. Hoshi empties the cup of orange juice in one go before making an utterly terrified face. Oh, that's the face I make drinking orange juice too. Ugh, this is no good. Shouldn't be this sour. Ew! Not you drinking expired orange juice? Oh no! There's one thing worse than orange juice. Expired orange juice. Yomichi laughs. This man almost got food poisoning. That's not funny. Is it another music video? No, it can't be. As the redacted slowly rises out of the cup, she hears the redacted opening behind her. Okay, we gotta do another puzzle. Let's do it. It is only the two of them in the shop. The only sound is the faintly playing record. So record is a word. She can't even hear any voices coming from the neighbors. So record and neighbor, remember that. She can see the steam is another word, pick that out. Gimme. She can see the steam coming out of the coffee cup. Oh, coffee is another one. Gimme. When she's here, she finds herself staring at things she normally wouldn't even notice. Huh. Okay. Wait, was it? It was record. Let's check out record. What's this song? Yomichi asks after seeing the record player spinning in the corner of the room. Who knows? I just found it here. Hoshi replies without a hint of interest. Okay. Any words here? Oh, song? Is it? I think that's the only word. So we have to read through the phrases on the screen and pick out keywords that we use to finish the sentence and move the story along. And some words are red, and those red ones unlock other dialogue that you can use to find other keywords. So we're gonna click on neighbors. I've never been to the shop near this one. What is it? I wonder. I've never been there myself. Hoshi says while staring at the wall. Get it. It's mine now. It could be empty, or maybe just an apartment. Oh, apartment's another lead word. There are also people just living here? Oh yes, sometimes we need a break. I'm not open every day either. If they don't have a sign on the door, yes, it probably isn't a shop. Okay, sign. Was the sign also here to begin with? Oh no, I made that myself. Really? Wait, what did it look like again? Haha. Don't force yourself to remember. I'm not that proud of it. Oh no. Wait, was there a word? Let's see. No. Doesn't look like there's a keyword here. Okay. I think we have them all. As the steam slowly rises out of the cup, she hears the door opening behind her. Yes. Okay. These puzzles aren't too bad. Who could it be? Who's entering the shop? The shop's door opens and two customers walk in. Seeing this, Hoshi gets back to working. All the other customers do just as Yomichi. They drink their coffee, they pay with their tears, and they don't really talk about themselves. She doesn't know whether they're travelers from this world like Hoshi or people who stumbled into here from another world. What she does know is that nobody here would care either way. She's sneaking a glance at the customers as they order their drinks in between chatting. Suddenly, her phone buzzes in her pocket. Well, you get cell service in another world? She's disappointed. She hasn't even finished her coffee yet. She looks at the screen and sees a text from her parents. What time are you coming home today? The usual short question. She turns off the screen with a sigh. Did she not reply? When she looks up, she sees Hoshi pouring a fresh cup of coffee, and his hands are perfectly still. Actually, everything is perfectly still. Even the faces of the other customers and the liquid dropping from the coffee siphon. It's like being inside of a painting. The shop she felt so comfortable in now gives her that kind of anxiety you get when meeting with a complete stranger. Then everything starts moving again. Instants later, it's all silently crumbles. It's like a sandcastle being destroyed, or like fog being blown away. Everything around her, as if it was made from something lighter than sand, but heavier than fog, gets blown away by the wind that goes to nowhere in particular. It all collapses, melts together, and disperses so thin that you can't see it anymore. When she tries to touch the still half-full cup of coffee in front of her, it disappears as if she had tried to grab a puff of smoke. The writing is very descriptive. Oh no, we're back in the real world. She is sitting by herself on the bench in the park she was in before. A lone street light coldly shines down on her. Wait, we weren't on the bench before. We were on the slide, if I remember correctly. Her pants are wet because of the bench. It's uncomfortable. That's weird. Everything isn't the same as it was. Backstreet. Composer Kazuya Morita. Huh. Okay, that's weird. Let's do the next one. Yomichi loves drinking coffee in the tunnel shop. She likes the eeriness of the tunnel. She likes how she'd end up crying even without any strong emotions. And she likes the way the bartender talks. Nice. Oh, we're on the moon again. She likes the moon world where Madobe lives just as much. How do you skip? What? You can't skip? It's not like I can't. Yomichi skips 3 times and overtakes Madobe. See? I can do it. But it's just normal skipping. What's that thing about being faster than light? Seeing other people skip is kind of funny. It kind of is. If you ever see somebody like skip, it's hilarious. What she likes the most is strolling through that empty landscape while making small talk. When she's doing that, she feels more at home than when she's in her actual living room or when she's talking with her classmates at school. She rarely speaks to Madobe about her life in the day world, but she feels like the kind of person that you could talk about anything with. Yes, she can talk about what she really wants to with Madobe. Skipping is like, well, do you ever watch videos on your phone? Yeah, of course. And you can skip ads and such, right? Right? It's the same thing. You instantly move forward in time by skipping. I don't think that's how it works, but can you show me? Wait, that's also skipping? But is that what you meant? It is. Really? Madobe laughs so hard that she squints. She looks like she's having so much fun that Yomichi can't help but laugh as well. She knows that Madobe makes no sense most of the time. Maybe she's doing it on purpose. Maybe it's a rule of this world, just like the weird rules in the tunnel world. And Yomichi, as a newcomer, doesn't get it yet. Sky, oh my god, I love looking at the sky like this. It's so pretty. What even is this world? Why is she here? Yomichi has no clue. Walking around in here makes her feel at ease, but with a faint melancholy aftertaste. These worlds she stumbles into disappear at the drop of a hat. All it takes is her phone ringing, or even just thinking too hard about the day world, and it all goes away like fog in the wind. She can come back eventually, but she really has no say in the matter. Maybe tomorrow, when the sun sets, she won't actually get transported anywhere. Lately, she wonders whether it's okay for her to be in these places at all. Thinking that the fun she has chatting with Madobe could suddenly end forever is as sad as it is scary. Moreover, the thought that she only feels at home in these weird, ethereal, ephemeral places is just as scary. Would she be fine if she lost the ability to visit them? Probably not. These worlds are already something that she cannot live without. There's another thought that she tries to shove away from her mind. Maybe she is the one who created these worlds. Children take in the stories of books and TV shows and start creating things in their imagination. Worlds where rescued by charming princes, or where they live a laid-back rural life in the forest. Could it be that she walked into a figment of her imagination? That would be so surreal. That would mean that no part of what she sees now is real. She would just be creating pleasant delusions to escape reality. I think we all do that too sometimes, though. Like when you're daydreaming or just thinking of other things that you could have done, other paths, we all kind of imagine different lives. I can't say I've ever dived into one. It sounds very anime-esque, but I mean, it's not weird. Maybe one day she'll have to forget about these worlds. Maybe she'll find somewhere in the day world where she feels at home and can live a normal life, just like everyone else. But that day could very well be today. What's her life like in the day world then? Still, she can't say goodbye to Madobe. She keeps half listening to her weird, possibly fake tales with a smile on her face. Sand Moon. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, Yomichi, welcome. Where are we at now? This one's different. Who's this? When she walks into the small chimney-crowned hut, Yomichi is greeted by a lady who was busy making soup. Okay, so this is a new character in a new world. How many worlds has Yomichi created? I have so many questions. The lady covers the soup pot with a lid and opens a cabinet nearby. The shelves are full of all kinds of things, seemingly in layers, with the ones at the bottom looking as old as the shelves themselves, and getting more and more newer looking the closer to the top they get. The lady gets a small box from near the top of the cabinet and places it on the table in the center of the hut. There are a fireplace, a cabinet, and a table. There's also a small bed and a window that you can see the sky through. And that's all the furnishings of this tiny brick hut. Yomichi looks at the box. It's a small wooden box with a glass cover, and inside of it, there's a single butterfly with beautiful green wings. Butterfly does not move. It's a replica. Yomichi takes the box in her hands and gazes at how the light reflects off the butterfly's wings. Once satisfied, she puts it back on the table and sets it on one of the two chairs there. "Want to eat something since you're here?" says the lady after going back to the pot. "Thanks. Just a bit though," she replies. The lady, with a childish laugh, takes two shallow bowls out of the cabinet. Childish. That word feels somehow rude. With her shoulder-length wavy hair and her simple dress, the lady looks as young as Yomichi. But her calm and subtly refined demeanor makes Yomichi think that she is, in fact, a lady, quite a few years older than her. "Can I ask you something, Ito?" Okay, so Ito is this woman's name. "Of course," she softly replies. Her hair hides her face, but Yomichi can guess that she is smiling. Everyone, including Yomichi, calls this lady Ito. But as this turns out, this is not her real name. What? She doesn't even have a real name. She doesn't need one. That's what she told Yomichi when the two first met. What? Why would someone living alone in a small hut need a name for? It's not like there's anyone calling for her, except of course, for the occasional guests like Yomichi, who resort to calling her Ito. I wonder why. That's the name that they picked. Yomichi has to wonder what it feels like living without anyone ever calling your name. That has to be very lonely. Why do you have chairs and dishes in pairs, even though you live alone? That's such a rude question. Ito hands a bowl of soup to Yomichi and then sits down on the other side of the table. The soup glistens as if it were liquid gold. Because I get guests sometimes, like you now. She laughs once again. The extent of her elegant and refined demeanor ends when she opened her mouth. Somehow, to Yomichi, the way she spoke felt like the purest, most unadulterated way to speak. It had the purity of someone who naturally picked up on words by living alone in a hut. That is so rude to say! Oh my gosh. Oh, but come to think of it, it's because I used to live with my mom here. Well, what happened to your mom? You have a mom? Of course, I didn't grow up in a cabbage field. No, yeah, I mean, so what about your dad? Ito shakes her head. That I don't have. Did he pass away? Stop asking probing questions! No, I just never had one. It's just mothers who give birth to us by themselves, naturally. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it is. Wait, so they're just like immaculate conceptions? Just women out here birthing babies? Wow. Yomichi assumes that this is just another way in which this world's rules are different from her own. She knows that there are all kinds of worlds, and Ito is probably the only inhabitant of this one. All the guests that come to visit her do so from other worlds. This is actually how Yomichi first learned that there were other people able to travel between worlds. Not that she'd ever run into anyone. Really? That's weird. Yomichi brings a spoonful of soup to her mouth. The gold liquid tastes as precious as it looks. The large pieces of carrots and potato are cooked to perfection and melt in her mouth. Oh, I want some soup now. God, I want an Italian wedding soup. Are all these vegetables from your field back there? Oh yes, I grew all of them myself. That's impressive. I only grow what I need to eat. I also use some ingredients that people brought me from the bouillon, though. I said that right? I think I did. I only have sheep around here, so do you eat the sheep? People, as in guests? Yes, sometimes they bring me stuff, like that butterfly. Ito points to the small wooden box with her gaze. This isn't the first time someone had given Yomichi a replica like this. Can I ask about that? Go ahead, as long as they're questions I know the answer to. Who brought you this, and why? Did they ask you to give it to me? As for who, I can't quite remember. It wasn't even that far back, but I just forgot. Her usual smile makes it difficult to tell whether she's avoiding the question or she genuinely doesn't know. And I was told to give this, yes, but probably not to you specifically. If I recall correctly, I was told to give this to the next person to visit me. Can you keep items that you get in these dream worlds? After swallowing the soup, Yomichi goes back to staring at the butterfly's wings. Sometimes people from other worlds give her insect replicas. Nobody ever told her the reason behind it, or why they are insect replicas specifically. All they tell her is to bring them back with her. They aren't even gifts per se, she's just keeping them for someone else, apparently. She has no clue where these replicas came from, and where they are supposed to go, but she still went ahead and took them. Maybe this is yet another weird rule from another world. Still, it's a very small price to pay for this good soup. Yum yum soup. Looking at the redacted reflected into the soup, Yomichi takes the redacted in her hand. Another puzzle. Let's do this. Okay. The sunlight coming in through the windows. Windows is one of those words. And the flames roaring. Take flames. Bang. Roaring on the fireplace. Enshroud the hut in a gentle light. The corners. Is that a word I can take? The corners of the hut are always left in the shadows. We can take that. Thank you. But here, even that feels cozy. The furniture is only comprised of the bare minimum: a table, a cabinet, a fireplace. Even though she looks like she has a lot of free time on her hands, Ito never looks bored. Okay, so window, fireplace, time. The glass panes on the window are perfectly clean, but the scene behind them looks distorted. Glass is a liquid. It just kind of distorts over time, Ito explains. For real? That doesn't sound right. Who knows? But I heard someone say that it was. That sounds so fake. So glass we can take. Got it. Glass. Anything else? Nope. Go back. Fireplace. A crackling sound comes from the fireplace. Its wavering light dances on the ceiling. Oh, take it. Fine. Do you cut the firewood yourself? Rarely. Some guests just bring it to me, and it's usually already the right size. Oh, so it's not from here. Of course. There are no trees here. Wait, what? If you got trees in the field behind your house, could you do without people bringing wood to you? I wonder. I feel that even if I planted trees there, they wouldn't grow. There have never been trees there after all. What? Yomichi wonders if the wooden spoon, yeah, take the spoon, in Ito's hand was also brought here from another world. I guess it has to be because there's no wood here. Wait, if that's the case, then how was the house built? It's made of wood, right? You did fireplace. Time. What do you do in your free time? I spin the wool from the sheep to make thread and such. That doesn't really sound like free time, doesn't it? Okay, I think that's all the words. Let's double check again. Window we already checked. Fireplace we checked. Let's see. Let's make sure we got them all. We did fire. Wait. This is a different fireplace. No. Okay, so it's the same one. It's just if the word appears twice, you can click either one. It's time. Okay. Looking at the redacted reflected in the soup, Yomichi takes the redacted in her hand. Well, I think spoon goes here. Looking at the shadow reflected in the soup. Sheep. The ceiling? Maybe ceiling? I don't know. It's not the glass. Or maybe it is. Well, I guess it would be the ceiling, right? I hope I did that right. That got a lot more difficult than I thought it was gonna get. Looking at the ceiling reflected into the soup, Yomichi takes the spoon in her hand. Sounds right, right? Followed by Ito's warm gaze, Yomichi takes another spoonful of soup. Ito? Yeah? You know that there are worlds other than this, right? Obviously, yes. I'm the only person living in this one, she replies. The words themselves are blunt, but her voice was gentle and her smile kind. You also came from another world, didn't you? Yomichi nods lightly. Don't you ever want to go somewhere, see other worlds? Not really, she immediately replies. None of the people in these alternate worlds want to know anything else outside of what's in their world. Why not? Well, why would I? Why do you think I'd want to do that? Because in other places, there are other things. Oh, I bet there are, but I don't really feel like I want to go and see them. Why not? I feel like the people in these worlds are very content and that Yomichi is not. I feel like Yomichi is searching for something, and that's why she keeps going to these worlds. That's my theory. Yomichi worries she might have unintentionally been rude to her, but the gentleness in Ito's voice makes her too comfortable. What if those other things are better than what you have here? Yomichi asked her question without much confidence. After all, she is not sure she's ever seen any place better than this one. There probably isn't one. She wishes there were, and hopes that she'll be able to find it in one of the many worlds that she hasn't been to yet. Sometimes people will ask me that, Ito replies with a gentle, somewhat aloof voice. But I just can't imagine a place more wonderful than this. What does that even mean? A larger place, a place with more stuff in it. No matter what I imagine, what I have here seems better. I like how cozy it is, and I have all I need. Of course, maybe I just say this because I don't know what is actually outside. Yomichi doesn't know how to reply to that. One time, I said the very same thing to someone. They replied that they feel for me. Poor little thing, they said. I don't get it. I'm not sure why anyone would feel for me. Again, when someone is content and someone's like, dang, that's a sad way to look at things. When the person is perfectly content, it's like, I don't understand why you said that, but okay. Do you think I'm wrong, Yomichi? No, I don't think you're wrong. Me? Well... Oh, I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely want to know. Should I really try to go somewhere? Would I find something better than what I have now? And mind you, I really can't imagine what better even means. This is bringing up some interesting questions that are making my head hurt a little bit, but yeah, what is more to someone who doesn't know what more is? Like, if you don't know what you're missing, are you really missing anything? She smiles at Yomichi, who can see her own reflection in Ito's eyes. They are bright and clear. Staring into them almost makes Yomichi feel inadequate. I'm sorry. I don't know. Yomichi looks down and finishes her soup. Ito, looking content, puts an elbow on the table and rests her chin on her hand. Her whole world is in this hut, the field behind it, and the small garden all around. It's complete in itself. She doesn't know about anything else and doesn't wish for anything else. If she traveled and found new, wonderful things that she could start wishing for, would that make her happier? Yomichi thinks to herself while staring into the empty bowl. Geez, does more make you happy? No, I don't think so. Ito is staring out of her one little window. I wonder if I should be more ambitious. Outside the window, the peaceful panorama seems to go on and on forever. This is filling me with complicated emotions, and I don't know how to feel about that. After parting with Ito and leaving the hut, Yomichi stands outside, unsure of what to do. Like, okay, if you don't know what more is, and you don't want more, are you really missing out on the rest of the world if you're content with where you are? Like, should you want more? I'm saddled with weird feelings. She is in the middle of a lush green prairie. Ito's small brick hut is like an island in an ocean of grass. Except for the small field behind the hut and the tiny stream flowing beside it, there's nothing but grass. No towns, no mountains, just grass. The breeze feels nice, and the sky looks as wide as it could ever be. But the prairie and the stream don't actually go on forever. This is what has left Yomichi so confused. Not too far away from the hut, both just stopped abruptly. This actually was an island in the sky. What? This small patch of grass with an even smaller hut in the middle of it is the extent of Ito's world. Yomichi can't go back. There is no back to go to. She walks away from the hut and lies down on the grass. To say the truth, Yomichi knows how to go back. She could just text a classmate on her phone or think about the homework she has to do tomorrow. That would send her straight back to her own world, but she wants to stay here for a little longer. It's very peaceful. I wouldn't want to leave either. She wants a little more of that sunlight coming through the sparse clouds, of the fresh smell of the grass, of the not quite wind, not quite breeze. She loves this world. The sunlight has never felt so pleasant in the day world. She has never laid down on the grass there. Should do that. She loves the moon, the tunnel, the island, and the sky way more than the day world. She isn't that uncomfortable in the day world. She has kind friends and teachers at school. Her parents, as far as she can tell, are always putting her first. The way they're always asking when she's coming home is a bit annoying, but she understands that they do it because they love her. It's an average, happy environment to live in. But nowhere in that world can she find a place as comfortable as this deserted prairie, nor can she find anyone who she can talk to as freely as she can with Madobe. To her, this very fact feels wrong. She's scared that one day she'll wake up from this dream and will have to go on living, bound to just one world. That's the world she was born in. She has no choice but to live in that one. I shouldn't be wasting time like this, she tries to persuade herself. No, if you can travel, travel! Traverse the universe, the multiverse! Aw, no, I don't want to go back to the day world. She feels the world around her growing distant. She feels like she doesn't belong. She feels sad about laying down here. She tries to shake off those feelings, but she can't. No, I'm not ready for the real world yet. Suddenly, everything crumbles into dust and fog. The whole world turns into sand and disappears. But she feels that she is the one crumbling. After all, the only thing that's disappearing is what her, Yomichi, sees. Are we in another world? After everything has completely disappeared, she finds herself staring at the shining stars in the sky. She's laying down on the rooftop of her apartment. The pleasant smell and soft texture of the grass are nowhere to be found. The hard concrete floor hurts her back. Girl, yes, don't do that. The only thing remaining of that world is the butterfly replica in her hand, so she can take things from the other world. What does she do with it? Oh, I read to the end of chapter 1. We did it! The music in this is really nice, though. Very soothing, very relaxing, very nice after a long day of work. A long, long day of work. Next story. Where are we? The next day, when Yomichi wakes up in her room, she can no longer find the butterfly replica. Where did it go? The empty box is still on her desk, where she put it last night. The lid is still closed and intact, but the butterfly somehow isn't there. It's as if during the night it came alive and magically escaped through the glass. This happens every time she brings back an insect replica from another world. The insect just disappears while she's not looking. She once tried to apologize for this to the person who'd given it to her, but she was met with laughter. So that was probably intended. Still, she can't understand what this is all about or where the butterfly has gone off to. She puts the empty box away into a drawer. She has a few of them already in there. She could throw them away, seeing how the important part is the replica inside, but she stores and treasures them. After all, that is the only thing she can bring back from the world she visits. Now they are proof of her connection to those places. One day, they will be a memento. Oh my god, this music is so bittersweet. It's kind of sad. Empty boxes, empty worlds. Oh my god, I am a sucker for cityscapes. Oh my god, I love this background so much. With the music? God, I don't know. It makes me feel all... I know that's not a description, that's not a word, but y'all get it. There's no school today, so Yomichi wears the shirt that she just got yesterday and goes out. She's riding the train to her usual station, a large station full of people. It isn't even the largest station in the area, and it's a bit far from both her house and her school. She has no real reason to go there. It really does feel like I'm watching an anime, a very trippy anime. What an anime, that's kind of cool. The people going around town all have reasons, all have goals. Getting to work, shopping, having a secret meeting with someone. If she happens to sit next to one of them, that's nothing but a coincidence. She doesn't talk to them, she doesn't look them in the eye, and she overall pretends that they don't exist. That's kind of how we all are. Like, we're always surrounded by people, but a lot of times we don't really take in who's near us, who's with us, who we're talking to. Like, it's just a stranger on the street. We don't think anything of it after that point. That's such a surreal thought to have, that you can be surrounded by people and be kind of alone and isolated. God, that was a really weird, deep thought I just had. Okay, this game is doing things to me. Existential thoughts tonight, yes. Oh my god. It is very cinematic, though. I almost want to just like stay on a scene and just vibe with the music and I don't want to say anything. This is nothing like students bullying a classmate by pretending he doesn't exist. When you're crossing the street and someone is approaching you from the opposite direction, you step aside in order to avoid them so as not to hurt each other. That is what it is. She avoided everyone's gaze like an animal trying to convey that it isn't trying to threaten anybody. If anything, that's a way of connecting with people in itself. Kindness and avoidance, even. That is an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought to have. I've never thought of it that way. I mean, it's just an instinct to move out of the way. I don't think of it as connecting with the person. I want whatever these writers were smoking, because it must have been great. At the same time, no matter how many people she has around her, she always feels alone. Every single individual sharing this space with her is actually living in their own little world. That's so true. Like, you're surrounded by people who are living their own lives. Like, you're the main character of your own life story, but you're not the main character in anyone else's life. At best, you're a side character. So, like, you're just a blip in someone else's existence. Someone that's not even worthy of remembering. That is so crazy. Why are we having these thoughts on a Tuesday? I'm gonna need a drink after this. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. This game is getting to me. And this is the real reason why I don't watch emotional anime with you guys. Because this is what happens. She gets out of the station and into a smaller street where the buildings cut out some of the sunlight and most of the noise. Around her are fancy cafes, deserted thrift shops, stores dealing in unguessable goods, and multiple multi-store buildings. She's never come here before, despite all the walking she has done around the city. There still are dozens of streets which are completely new to her. She keeps walking under the buildings, shade, while peeking into the windows of the many intriguing stores. So I used to do this a lot. When I was at Howard, I worked in one of the research labs, and part of the job was that I was sent out to interview the leasing staff of multi-unit apartment complexes. I was doing a study for like the Department of Health. And a lot of it was me on foot going to different apartments. Like I'd look up a list of apartments in the area, and then I would go to that area and I would walk around and go to the apartments. And doing that, I would run into all these like different places that I never would have seen on my own. Like when you're in a car or a train or a bus or something, you're going by too fast to notice certain things, so you miss a lot. But when you're on foot and you're walking, you have no choice but to notice things. And I would find like these amazing restaurants that I could never remember the name of later, and I'd have this amazing food there, or I'd like run up on like a street fair or a flea market or someone just selling or somebody playing music. And it was all these different little experiences I would have just from walking around. And again, I did my job, but it was really easy to kind of get lost in the sights and sounds of the city. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. Like I didn't have this badass background music going while I was walking around, but I don't know, like I kind of encourage you to just walk around somewhere. Get lost. I would get lost so often because I'm directionally challenged. But I would always discover these like really cool things in the process. So it wasn't really a wasted time. It was just a new experience. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like really cool. I need to do that more often. She sees someone walk around a corner. She could only catch a single glimpse of this person. But that glimpse was enough to surprise her. Why? Is this somebody from the other world? That person looked like Madobe. Oh my gosh, it's Moon Girl! Yomichi stops walking. She's feeling something familiar, like when a world crumbles into dust before her eyes. She feels as if she's floating in midair. The world around her suddenly stops feeling real. But the day world doesn't crumble and disappear. The colors that seem to fade come back as soon as she blinks. She considers running after that person, but she doesn't. No, go! Chase her down! Madobe could never be in this world. You just saw her. Go see! It must be someone else who just happens to look like her. Maybe this person doesn't even look like Madobe at all that much. But Yomichi felt she does because of how much she wanted to see her. She sighs and drops her gaze to the floor. She feels her throat clenching. This feeling of pathetic sadness brings her on the verge of tears. She needs that world, so much so that she hallucinates its inhabitants even in broad daylight. Walking on that street seemed to flip everything on its head. The real world now feels like an illusion, a dream, a distant mirage. I'm not fine, she thinks to herself. She is addicted to Madobe and all of those other worlds. Those dreamlike worlds are starting to take over her reality. With no little effort, she keeps herself from just dropping down on the floor. Aww. After a while, she starts walking again. As she passed by it, she gives a quick glance to the alley that Madobe lookalike walked in earlier. Are we going to the moon? It was a dark, damp alley with nobody in it. Hmm. Damn. Backstreet. Oh my gosh, that's such a melancholic note to leave things on. I don't. It's very stream of consciousness, if that makes sense. That's kind of how it feels. Like you're just kind of listlessly traversing these different worlds, just accepting the status quo of each world without really knowing exactly what's going on or what's happening. It's a bit surreal and it's a little trippy, but like, I don't hate it. I want to know what happens next. I want to know more. I want to explore more. I want to hear more of this great music. I want the soundtrack. This music is fantastic. That opening music video was everything. And all of the background music is just really good. And it sets the tone for this story. Like it gives you, the music more than anything gives you these like intense emotions, and they help kind of feed into the very thoughtful writing of the story. This is a game that really makes you think in a really twisted way. But I love it. I like it. I'm totally gonna keep playing this, probably off stream. I want to say thank you to the publishers again for sending me a copy of this game. I want to remind you all that it does come out on August 8th, so I highly recommend giving it a go. You can wishlist it now. Go do that. I have played some very interesting games before, and this one is definitely gonna stick with me for a bit. It's kind of how When the Past was around and A Space for the Unbound still kind of linger in the back of my head, even though I finished those games ages ago. Like I still think about them. And I kind of love a game that makes you think and sticks with you. It's such a weird feeling. I don't have the words for it. It's weird. But a good weird. Like a really good weird. So yeah, that was Moonless Moon. I want to leave the music playing because it's so good. But thank you all for coming through. I hope you had fun with the game. Thank you all for coming through and for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream of Moonless Moon. It comes out on August 8th, so please, please, please wishlist it on Steam or pick it up when it comes out on the 8th. But if you want to kick it with me away from stream, away from Twitch, you can do so by following me on my socials. I am Blurty Otome everywhere, though I am most active on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And of course, my site, Blurty Otome. Also, please, please, if you have not already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for coming through. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods, and I will catch you in the next stream. All right, y'all. Bye.